to your point, I was watching Real Madrid today, right? And I was like, wow, this reminds me so much of David Beckham's Real Madrid. with Zidane and Figo and R9. Like, great
Oh,
start.
the one we beat 19 years ago? That same Madrid?
That same Madrid, that same one.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Madrid is Arsenal's bitch.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. This is the Champions League edition. I'm your host, Tosin, alongside Deen. And there is no coach today, but we have Wale here. And it is beautiful to have him here instead of the other guy.
Yeah, man. Coaches out there in Madrid, being an Arsenal fan, but given that he, believes in Sharia law and all that, he's not actually drinking. So I don't really know why he did this. Like, he's actually going to go to an away game and remember what happened while he was there. What a fucking loser. What a loser. Like, coach, I know you're going to hear this while you editing. You're a loser, bro. Arsenal are winners. You specifically, bro. You need to, I'm going to stop. But you know what the fuck I mean, nigga. Hope you had fun. Love you.
So we're going to start off with Real Madrid and Arsenal. Before we start in this game, I want to say a big I told you so, because anybody who thought Real Madrid were going to do this like nonsense, all this PR bullshit they were doing before the game, the tie was over as soon as Mikel Marino scored that third goal last week, okay? There was no coming back. This is a team who, the last time Arsenal got like 3 goals scored on them plus was like 703 days ago. You're not going to do that against this team, okay? It just wasn't going to happen. I don't care who you had up front. It was Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinny. It wasn't happening. Anyways, this game, Dean, Wale, you guys talk to me. Go ahead. Whoever wants to start first. In fact, Wale, you talk to us first.
There you go.
Sure. I mean, last game, 3-0, I was very calm. I was like, okay, we're going to the Bernabeu. Big whoops. Everything was chill. And then 5 minutes to the game, I started to panic. Like, I was shaking. It was crazy. I don't know. They got me. The PR got me. But as soon as we started playing, like 9 minutes in, I think MLS and who was it? And Rice were like passing it back and forth. And I was like, okay, we're putting niggas in rondos. Like, we got this. Like, we can win. So it was good.
Yeah, my actually, you know what? Let me start my statement over and do it like one of the OGs and raps used to do it. Okay. All right, now let me drop my bars. Okay. Yeah, my experience was not dissimilar from Wale's experience, except for me, I get nervous a full 24 hours before the game because I'm a coward. And it was so bad this morning and I apologize in advance for this, but you made the choice to listen to this podcast and you know what the fuck I be saying on this podcast. But I shit you not, pun intended. I took 4 shits this morning, people. I was so fucking nervous. I got to the office before I even looked at my first piece of work. I wanted to take another shit. Then I thought to myself, if you shit at the office, now you got to watch this game from home and take a PTO day. So think of the stress I was going through. Like, my stress levels were higher than Arteta's this morning. Like, this whole game, like the team looked calmer than I ever was throughout this last week, to be honest with you, because the Remontada PR definitely got to me. Like, I was freaking out. I thought to myself, 3 is good. And Arsenal, I know the records. I watch Arsenal every week. For me, it's less about Real Madrid not having enough in attack or whatever. They have the most. They're the hostess with the mostest. Arsenal is just a really good defensive team. Like Tosin mentioned a moment ago, it's been 700 and whatever the fuck days since Arsenal conceded 3 goals in a game. So really, like, my logical side was like, you should be calm about this. But my emotional sports fan side was not really having any of this shit. And I want to say I was doing okay as the game started. Like, Arsenal got the penalty. Well, first, let's start with the Mbappe, the offside goal that wasn't a goal. I knew that was offside the moment it went in, so I was calm about that. We got the penalty thanks to the ref, or VAR really, pulling Raul Asensio up for the foul on Marino. So that happened. I left my office. Saka missed it. I was like, damn, I should have sat there like a good man and just ate my food. Unfortunately, that got fucked up. Then they got a penalty that got rescinded, thankfully, after a very long VAR check. And I got to say, at that point, my anxiety was just so high that I thought I was going to shit out my mouth. So I'll be honest with you people, I did not watch after that until the last 15 minutes. Like when I saw that Saka came off the pitch, I was like, okay, I think Mikel thinks it's going to be fine, so I can go watch the rest of it. But in between, I was out there supervising motherfuckers that didn't even have a supervisor in my office. I was like, what do you need in the office? Like, how is this company treating you? Do you need more support? Do you need me to do your work for you right now? I got you. But that's what I did for the whole game, really. So I really shouldn't talk again after that.
You know what you need, Dean? You need a smoothie. Numbers.
Oh
That's
no,
what
man. I prefer my drugs to be in a powder form. Sorry.
So the penalty check actually did the opposite for me. It like calmed things down. I was like, okay, the direct deposit did not go through on the ref. We are good to go. They're gonna let us play.
Well, you know, I saw Raul Asensio hug a man. I was just like, what are you doing? Like, this is the other football, okay? Like, why are you bear hugging another man onto the field? But Saka took that penalty, and I was just like, your mom prays for you, right? Like, don't ever take a penalty like that ever again. Like, don't do that shit ever again.
Hey man, nerves, man. I think the PR got to him too. Like he was looking up at the tifo whatever that they had in Madrid. That shit has 6 fingers. Like it was scary. He was freaking out.
You know what it is? I think his like real Nigerian side came out where he wanted to be a star. I think all in his brain was just Lahu or Fuji music. Whatever was in his brain at the time, don't do that again, Saka. Like, don't do that again. But second half started, and then for me, the man of the match obviously is Declan Rice, but I really, really want to give a big shout out to Miles Lewis Skelly. He's 18 years old and he just looks calm. Like his first time ever at the Bernabeu, and he looks like he's been there before. Just a grown ass man in a teenager's body. I'm just like, wow, this kid is really good. And another thought came to my head was just like, I know Jude is sick because they're gonna remind him when England comes together about what happened. So unfortunate, Jude.
I think on Miles, that is not a teenager's body. Be very clear about that. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're doing at the gym, but that is not a teenager's body. So let's fix that real quick. But generally, I just felt like even from the first leg, I could sense a level of frustration in Jude because he was getting Jude Bellingham is arguably the most talented midfielder on the planet. Arguably, coach probably agrees with that. I don't particularly believe that, but he's not here for me to curse him out. That said, I think there was an element of a very specific kind of frustration for him because he was getting physically dominated by both of those guys. And I'm sure he probably felt it a little bit in England training, but for it to be happening live on TV in front of billions of people across 2 legs of a tie, that's got to be humbling, because you're the one that made it to Real Madrid before you were 20 years old or whatever the fuck. And now these dudes that are supposedly not on your level because they don't wear a white shirt like you do are physically dominating you in your own stadium. I could tell he was upset. He wanted to hurt somebody by the end of the game. Like I remember at the end of the last game, Rice went to shake his hand and it was the most fastest perfunctory. It was kind of handshake you give the mechanic after you know he cheated you. Like, okay, thank you. See you next time, nigga. Like that kind of thing. And
no.
yeah, exactly. Like, and big credit to him. Again, I didn't really watch most of the game, but I heard good things about Kivier's performance as well. I think Wale can probably speak more to that.
Please do, because I have thoughts too. Okay, wow.
Well, first off, I want to go back to MLS. Y'all know that Toby Lou song "Buff Baby" or "Adventure Time." I'm a buff baby, but I look like a man. She a bad girl and she shaking her yams. Well, he had Bellingham shaking his yams in the midfield. He was cooking.
I don't know why
MLS was cooking.
I don't know why I'm friends with this nigga. What the fuck am I doing? Like I just heard the kind of a Beyonce song on my podcast, and this nigga talking about Buffett. Man, shut up, man.
Toby Lou, get hip. Nigerian.
No.
Anyway, MLS was cooking, but yeah, I have to give it to Kiwi, man. Like 2 games, 2 stellar performances, and he did not hide. Like
No.
more than made up for the game in Bayern, man. Like we gotta let that go. Like if he moves on in the summer, good luck to him, but he can stay. He's got a place in my heart forever.
Amen to that. Tosin, how much would you pay for Kivior?
I would.
Well, not for your club, just generally, I know.
Oh, that's like a good 60 to 80 million pounds center back.
Oh wow.
Yes, we'll take it.
Deal. Take this
Deal.
Put that nigga on the plane. But yeah, onto the goal though. Like the first goal, the Saka goal. Like I'm just glad that he had that moment because people can't wait to get on his ass about some bullshit, and missing a penalty like that was obviously not a good look. That said, most of the credit for that goal in my mind goes to Mikel Merino. Like I mean, I knew he had it in him. I mean, if you've listened to us on this podcast for a while, Coach was talking all that shit at the beginning of the year. And I was like, the player is more creative than you're giving him credit for. We just haven't seen him in enough of that context to see those skills. And tonight he got both assists in this game. And the one for just a delicate, the kind of thing you'd expect from a good Odegaard, who again was, it was very, that Jay-Z gift, but that's okay. It's a happy occasion, so we're not gonna get too negative about it. But just an overall great performance from what I've seen. I watched the highlights after the game to try to prepare for this podcast, and ultimately, I think what I always had faith in going into this second leg was the fact that Arsenal can defend and Real Madrid cannot. So even if they do their remontada shit, Arsenal will score goals, which means that Real Madrid has to score more goals. And it was a sure thing to me that Arsenal will score at least one goal. So that meant that Real Madrid had to score at least 4. And Arsenal hasn't conceded 3 in 700 and Bogboro days. So, honestly, I don't know why I was nervous. It's just the way I am, but I'm glad all my shits were worth it. So worth it. I feel so much lighter right now. Oh my God. I lost like 10 pounds today, people.
Can I tell you something? You just did Foxy Brown math, by the way, on affirmative action.
Do people that listen to this pod know who Foxy Brown is anymore? Like, is that still a person to them?
I don't think so, man. But Foxy Brown was my first crush.
Are we that old?
Yeah, she was Jay-Z's first crush too.
Okay.
Oh my God.
On.
Yeah. Well, speaking of young players, Raul Asensio, I'm so glad the Real Madrid kept him because we got Lenny Euro and you don't. So ha. But yeah, anything else you guys want to add before the end of this game?
I mean, we ain't talk about the second goal yet. My boy Martinelli, 90 plus minutes, full sprints. Like, say what you want about Martinelli, but he didn't hide. Like he was going at them every single chance he got. Every Brazilian he played defense against today was in hell. They couldn't get past him for nothing. Offense, defense, he was there, and I'm so glad he got the goal. Like, it was perfect.
I do have a question for both of you, by the way, since we're both here.
Pick one person. Don't ask both of us.
No, it's because it's a Yoruba question. That's why. Is there a word in Yoruba for elder abuse?
No, because we don't abuse our elbows.
No, we don't.
What's wrong with you? Why did you ask that kind of question? Oh, I will plug you. So you would understand the other. Why boy or that? Why borrow?
The reason why I asked this is because what Bukayo Saka did to David Alaba, right? He abused his elder.
See, I actually disagree. I think he could have done a lot worse. I think he respected him a little too much. First leg and second leg. He could have gotten him out of there way quicker, way earlier.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. It's not really a matter of respect, if we're being honest. It's just Sakai's not fit yet. Like, Mikel never takes him out of games, and he took him out of this game because he's not fit enough. That said, I don't know. Like, I think it's fair to say, like, winning trophies kind of hides the truth about situations. And the situation in Madrid is that they're actually in the middle of a rebuild, low-key, that we've just kind of ignored because they have Mbappe, they have Vinicius, they have Bellingham, but they have no midfield tempo setter. They were trying to scare me with Ceballos as if Ceballos didn't play for Arsenal once upon a time. We know what he can do, nigga. We wasn't scared about that, like and coming off injury, like, we have a Declan Rice, bitch. Like, what the fuck? Like, bro, that little nigga getting swallowed, pause and all that. But again, my logical side was very confident, but my emotional side was a wreck because it's still Real Madrid. And I gotta say, Carlo is probably gonna leave after this. I hope he takes the Brazil job. But I don't really know who I think they'll get. It feels like a Xabi Alonso thing, but I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah. So to your point, I was watching Real Madrid today, right? And I was like, wow, this reminds me so much of David Beckham's Real Madrid. It was Zidane and Figo and R9. Like, great.
Oh, the one we beat 19 years ago? That same Madrid?
That same Madrid. That same one. Yeah.
It's crazy. Madrid is Arsenal's bitch.
Yeah. So that Madrid, right? I'm looking at it, I'm just like, wow, they have the same issues where it's like it's top heavy, and a lot of people who are casual to sports and like, oh well, why didn't Mbappe do this? I'm like, brother, you need a midfield. They're relying on Toni Kroos, or Luka Modric, who's basically went to school with my dad. And I'm just like, yo, this man is old. He's older than Rodrigo's dad. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this team needs left back, they need right back, they need midfielders, and they have 3 guys up top who all want to be in the left. I'm looking at Mbappe, he kept drifting towards the left, kept drifting like he didn't want to be in the middle. I'm like, bro, your team is unbalanced.
My guy smelled Kivio's breath and ran away.
Yeah, can
Smell that
you?
burnt cabbage. He's like, I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
But yeah, long story short, man, Madrid. And I was saying this last week. A lot of teams need like major upgrades. I think there's very few teams in Europe right now who just needs a few tweaks. You guys are one of those teams that need just a few tweaks. PSG, another one that needs a few tweaks. And most people need a big rebuild this summer. Madrid is another one of those teams. I think that I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I think they need to sell one of Rodrigo or Vinny, and they need to sell one of Chouameni and Camavinga and use that money to properly like restock their team. That's just, because I think there's a lot of unbalance in that team. I genuinely think that about Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a Rodrigo off their hands. Fascinatingly enough, they're not going to sell Vinny. That's just no disrespect, but that's just not happening.
Yeah.
Rodrigo seems like a more what's that, Wale?
So would you say we need a few tweaks to swerve bend that corner? Whoa.
You're never coming on the podcast.
As you were.
If I call you a hard R now, I'll be justified. Anyway, speaking, let's you guys got anything else before we move on to Inter
All
Bayern?
right, let's move on. Let's move on. We've done enough.
Inter Bayern. Inter again, they're one of those teams like Arsenal where they're a pain to play against. You've seen them enough in Serie A where that three-back system they have, it's like a machine. But in this game, Bayern Munich went up first. Harry Kane scored, and I thought, wow, we got a game on our hands here. And then Lara Coutu Martinez decided to score, and after that, they got another head. They got another set piece goal, and then Eric Dyer. And I was telling Wale this prior. Eric Dyer, they sent a cross in, right? And Eric Dyer's job was to square the ball into the midfield. Eric Dyer does not know how to think from time to time. He scored instead of doing that. And yeah,
Far be it from me to defend a Tottenham player, ex-Tottenham at this point, but when the man does something good, just give him his credit. Like,
no,
I hate him, man. Like he was okay, so he was supposed to head it back across, and he scored a goal. How you gonna criticize a motherfucker for doing the rarest thing in the sport? What kind of hate is that? Like, come on, man. But yeah, this game was a lot like
Jersey.
the first leg. A lot like the first leg. Like Bayern played better, created the better chances, but I think that's part of Inter's game model a little bit. They're willing to suffer to win games. And what I didn't know was that Inter had unlocked the corner kick scoring thing that Arsenal used to have a couple months ago. We've now apparently transferred it to them because both of their goals came from corner kicks. And on the first one, Joshua Kimmich, I could criticize him for not clearing that ball, but Lautaro was just there really quick. The ball kind of hit him, and before he could kick it, Lautaro kicked it. What are you gonna do? The second one, that was just poor marking, some bullshit we've seen from Bayern all season. We saw last weekend when Kim let Maxi Bayer from Dortmund get ahead of him in their Klassiker, which we're not supposed to say, but I just said. Uh, but yeah, I just felt like between Conrad Leimer and Kim on that second goal, they really cost Bayern. And I want to give Pavard some credit for celebrating like a hooligan, because this whole I used to play for you, used to pay my bills, so I'm not gonna celebrate shit. I'm kind of tired of it. It's like, bro, let's move on. Society has moved on from that. Loyalty is not a value that we appreciate in society anymore. Let's move on out there, Right?
we're shameless in the society. We don't care. Still don't care and celebrate. But yeah, I mean, I think Inter are a very underappreciated side in Europe. I think that a lot of people when they speak about Inter, like, oh, Inter, I'm like, well, if you paid attention for the last odd so years, they actually run Serie A with an iron fist. Like, yeah, Napoli's won the title here and there, and Milan too, but it's Inter's dominating that shit. So
I don't blame the people for underappreciating Inter. Like that's not their fault. That's not the people's fault either. That's Serie A's fault. The league is not properly marketed. I mean, they were in the Champions League just a season and 2 seasons ago. The one that 115 FC won. So people should be aware of how good they are. I mean, like they've conceded the fewest number of goals in the tournament this year. So yeah, I mean, and Lautaro was pretty high up in the Ballon d'Or rankings last year, so they have enough of the ingredients, the nutriments. But if people don't care, it's because the league is not marketing it properly and people just don't really care about Serie A, and that's nobody's fault. Like let's talk about a game people care about.
and by the way, company's fired.
Probably, yeah.
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 Yeah, because that team can't defend for shit. And
No, because that man is black.
I was going to get to that point.
Let's not get into audio Yibo. Let's not speak audio Yibo. Let's just call it what it is, okay? Like, this was Campbell's too cool. And let's give him time for his system to,
Right.
you know,
Right.
him is like, man, this nigga's head is too big and there's nothing in it. Get the fuck out of here, nigga.
Yep.
I was gonna say, like, also we're post DEI now, man. You know, we're holding Harvard for ransom now. That's how we're doing. That's what we're doing in this world, man. We holding Harvard for ransom. So you black and you're not doing your job. Guess what, nigga? You ain't got no rope.
Yeah,
So,
black and you're not doing your job, you ain't got no job. You know, simple as that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Harry Kane finish in this game. I thought, you know, like he showed his class, but you know, like the Tottenham nigga he is, he showed up when it was too late. Yeah.
and it is something really poetic about two Tottenham players scoring and Bayern Munich going out.
Yeah, and there's something really obvious about not succeeding because you fill your team with Tottenham players. So yeah.
There we go.
Bursy.
As always. Dortmund and Barcelona. This game, Barcelona, what the hell are they doing?
What was the score of the game, Tosin?
3-1.
Thank you. Who won?
Dortmund on aggregate.
Hey.
Barcelona won.
Why did they do that? Like, I thought they gave it up in the first leg. Like, because I was watching that second half of the first leg. Like, you guys don't have to concede this many goals. Like, you can just, yes, this game isn't going well, but you can just lock it down because there's 90 minutes in your own stadium to do something here. And I feel like they kind of, it felt a little unprofessional to me the way they handled the second 45, because the first 45 of the first leg, was that goalless, man? Or am I making that up? I can look.
3-0. I think it was 3-0.
But in the first half, it could have been more than 1-0. And Guirassy missed all those chances. He should have had a hat trick in that game. He had a hat trick in this game when it didn't matter anymore. But you know, I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking here. So, Wale, have you ever seen someone so unhappy to win a Man of the Match trophy?
No, actually. Yeah, nah, he looked very, very upset. He looked like, yeah, he looked very upset. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, but credit to him, man. They paid 50 million for Guirassy, and even if they don't win anything, which they won't win anything, but I think that was a hell of an investment by Dortmund. Because if they do sell him, they'll probably get triple, quadruple, 70 million. Because that's the going price for every player these days. Even Kivior got quoted at, I don't know if you guys heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? We in the tariff world, so everything we're adding tariffs to everything in our prices. One thing I want to say, aesthetically, I never want to see Barcelona wear white shorts again.
Yeah.
But yeah, last thing, I don't ever want to see Barcelona wear white shorts on their kits again. It looks disgusting. That's not of God. Whatever the UEFA thing that is, UEFA, let's stop doing that. It's not cute.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do these things for the colorblind folks, but it's like, let's keep it a buck. If you colorblind, you don't need to be watching football, bro. Like, football is not for everybody. If you can't see, you know, go practice gardening or some shit, nigga. You ruining it for the rest of us, man. Like, can we get Trump to run UEFA? I'm sure he would end all that shit. You know, that feels like some DEI shit to me. Like, you know, like niggas don't gotta see everything. Like, blue shorts would have been fine against black shorts. I'm sorry. Like, blue and red stripes versus a yellow top is enough. If the ref and the colorblind folks can't sort that out, then I'm sorry. Like, UEFA, you know, y'all need to talk to some real Pentagon niggas, man. You know, that's all I'm saying. You know, some signal chat niggas. That's all.
Yeah, listen, Barcelona, they basically, you know, when they subbed in Ansu Fati last week, they kind of knew it was over. So, you know.
Yeah, well, but this, I feel like they were really nervous by the end of this game, guys, because it was 3-1. The first leg was 4-1, was it, or 4-0? 4-1.
4-0.
Okay.
4-0.
So I mean, that got kind of close, and honestly, after a team they hadn't lost at all this year, they hadn't lost in 24 straight games. So I mean, this feels like the kind of result that can actually spiral into some other shit. Because as good as Barcelona have been this season, I still don't trust them. I don't, like, a lot of people think because they score a lot of goals that they're the favorites to win this tournament. I don't see it. They'll win La Liga. I'll give them that. But in a cup tournament, I'm more willing to put my money on the teams that don't concede goals, not the teams that score a bunch of goals. So I mean, they conceded 3 in 1 game. Arsenal haven't done that forever. Inter probably don't know how to do that. So we're not quite there yet, but those are my two favorites for in the final four, personally.
You asked Wale a question. Have you ever seen a person unhappy to get a man of the match award? I have an answer for that. It's Usman Dembele. Uh, it's a great segue because Aston Villa PSG was 3-2, end up 4-5 on aggregate. When they went up 2-0, I was like, okay, this game is calm. They're finishing. The game is over. And then like a light switch, John McGinn and Marcus Rashford was just like, hey, guess what? You got some shit for your ass. Emery taking off Rashford kind of sums up who Unai Emery is in a sense. Decent coach. I saw people yesterday tweeting though, why did Arsenal fans not like Unai Emery? Well, look at this dumb shit he did by taking off. Marcus Rashford literally had a Gatorade symbol on his head. Okay, he literally looked hot, and he took him off for Ali Watkins, and then your everything just went like that. For what reason? For what reason?
Well, I'll just this is the last time I'm going to address this in any context. The whole Unai Emery Arsenal theme. Like, I don't even care about what he did as a manager, or him not speaking the language as well back in the day, or whatever it was. Just look at the motherfucker. Does that look like an Arsenal manager to you? Like, look at Arsene Wenger, look at Mikel Arteta, then look at that fucking bum, and tell me that's the guy that's supposed to be at the Emirates. Like, man, if you think Arsenal did him wrong or that they should have spent, I'm gonna just say it like this. This is the most polite way I can put this. Fuck you and your mama, man. Fuck all these niggas. I'm tired of this shit, man. Like, this whole Unai Emery, like, that's the worst thing about this Emery thing. I remember the day we hired him all those years ago. I remember thinking to myself, like, the worst thing about this is that it can never be undone. They'll always associate this dickhead with Arsenal, no matter what he does, whether he succeeds here or fails. He'll always be brought up in connection to my team, and I regret that. And I hate your moms for you ever saying that shit to me on the internet, fucking assholes. But yeah, Wale, what are your thoughts on Emi Martinez?
I love Emi Martinez. That's my guy. I know that's not the most popular thing, but that's my guy. I felt like we needed that kind of person at Arsenal,
And
like just a jerk, and we missed out on that. But my thoughts on Unai Emery, I hate Unai Emery. I'm glad Unai Emery lost. I'm glad we don't have to face Villa in the next round. One, English teams boring. Two, I don't want to play them niggas. Like, I just don't. This is why we're in the Champions League, not to play niggas that we play 2 times a year anyways. Like, nah. Give us everybody else.
yeah, I feel like the only thing worse than playing Aston Villa in the semifinal of the Champions League would be playing Manchester United in the semifinals of the Champions League. Like, that's just not why we woke up this morning.
And the only thing worse than that would be playing Manchester United in like the Europa League semifinals.
Well, technically, this Aston Villa versus PSG game was a Europa League game. Because when they walked out, they played them the Europa League anthem. And I was like, God, no wonder Unai Emery is coaching like a Europa League coach. Because, as Tosin said, taking Rashford off was just an encapsulation of the cowardice that has always plagued his career as a manager. Like, I know he's won some things and people rate him, but this is why some of us don't rate him. Because when it comes time to put his balls on the table, he chickens out. And I'm not a fan of that. That said, in this game, I mean, credit to Villa. They I don't. Well, Emi Martinez should get blamed for that first goal for sure. But if they just started the game better, they might have stolen this shit. They might have stolen this shit. But you can't go down 2-0 at home after losing the first leg and expect to still go through. Like, it's not right. It shouldn't happen. It's not done. No set of fans deserve to be that happy. Like, fuck that. Like, you're responsible. Defend better. How about that?
I mean, for me, when I look at this team, right, I'm just happy that they lost. Well, long story short, Aston Villa lost. Champions League finals, semifinals was set. We have PSG, Arsenal, we have Barcelona, Inter, and it's going to be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the technical difficulties. It's going to be some reverb you guys are going to hear. We apologize for that, but it's going to be exciting. What are you guys looking forward to the most in Europe, in what's it called, Champions League, besides your team, obviously?
For me, I want to see how Inter and Barca match up. I don't think that's a good matchup for Barcelona at all. I just think Inter is just mature in a very cynical way. and they're gonna figure it out, and they're going to make it ugly, but they're gonna get out of there. I'm going for them in the final for sure.
Yeah, that's a really long way of saying Inter are very Italian. But yeah, I stated a little while ago, I think during the Dortmund tie that we muddled through, that I just think the teams that have better defenses are going to do better in this tournament now. Because these are not one-off games. You have to play home and away. So, and even if there's no away goals, I just feel like whoever can keep the ball out of their net has a better chance of winning. So, for me, um, in an ideal world, though, I'd much rather if Arsenal is lucky enough to get through to the final, I'd much rather face Barcelona than Inter.
Absolutely.
Even though I think either one of them is food for Arsenal.
Absolutely.
I genuinely feel that that's not a fan talking. That's just me having watched all of these teams a lot. I mean, we do a podcast. We don't just make this shit up by seeing takes on Twitter and repeating them. We actually watch the games. Some of y'all should try that. So, but yeah.
And we don't talk when we don't watch the game.
What's that?
And we don't talk when we don't watch the game.
Right. I don't know. I guess now's a good time to start talking about how we feel about the tournament overall. Tosin, we did the whole group stage thing. We flipped that. Like, what did you make of that? I'm sure you expressed an opinion months ago, but let's do it again. And what do you think of the tournament in general? I think we've had a good tournament this year.
I've really enjoyed the tournament, and I kind of like the new format. I know it's a little bit longer, but this has been fun. I've generally had fun, and I really want to tweet today. Get your shit together, man, because I want to be in this. This looks fun. I miss hanging out with the big boys. Now I'm going out on ladies' night. This is bullshit. But Wale, how do you feel?
Agreed. I mean, initially I was kind of like, okay, we're gonna get too many of these big matchups, and it's gonna kind of water it down. But then we got those matchups, and I guess bias when you win those matchups, you like those matchups. So I wanted to see us against as many of the best as possible, and we saw it, and we beat a lot of them, and it low-key sets up like even like Arsenal PSG, right? It sets up enough of a narrative going into this next game. Like they're gonna try to get their revenge. Like I saw an interview, one of them was already talking about Arsenal, and we hadn't even played the second leg yet, so it's gonna be great. I'm really pissed at the Ghanaian guy for getting another yellow card, but I don't know. I'm happy today. We'll figure all of that out later.
And how do you feel, Deen?
I feel like I could take 4 more shits.
And on that note, we're out. Everyone take it easy. Peace.
Hey folks, this is Deen from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.